All right, let's get a check on what's playing out with digital assets at this point. I did, talk about Bitcoin, having that recovery, generally following what we're seeing with global indexes at this point, $91,208. I guess investors were worried at some point if 90K was going to hold. And no, that was 80,000 was going to hold before now. But we're seeing deep in the green at this point, a big 5% drop for Bitcoin. Ethereum still holding on to $3,000, 3.64%. We see just a few pockets of red at this point, a couple of stable coins in there showing that traders are trying to get back into the market. There did this fall to extreme fear, that sentiment in the market, showing that investors were getting quite jittery there. Let's bring in Rume Ofi now, financial market analyst. Hello, Rume.
Good afternoon, Larry.
Good afternoon, Rume. So we're seeing green on the screen at this point with the big scare from last week, but it seems Bitcoin is just matching what we're seeing with global indexes at this point.
I think the market is just celebrating Thanksgiving. We could see that 90, 91. That could be, if that is actually holding for a while now, I think it's a breath of fresh air, because right now nobody's actually certain about where the market is going. We'll see some downside in recent time in the practical bull market at 20, 25, 30% down. It's a normal thing that usually happens. So I really don't think that there should be some scare. But when we start seeing ETF companies actually that bought Bitcoin selling huge amounts, it becomes a cause for concern right now, because the essence of all of this is for them to make profits on a short term. But I think the believers of this industry are those that are buying to hold for 30, 20, 40 years, as long as it could be, because if this is the future of money, and short term shouldn't be a way to distract us from what this industry has to offer.
All right, so Ruben, there's a lot of talk about laws being set here about for cryptocurrency markets and cryptocurrency trading in Nigeria. We've also had some meetings coming from the House of Reps. They're bringing industry players to find a way to chart a course that makes sense for Nigeria, so we're not left out in this digital assets space. So what are you hearing so far on what these laws would look like, the kind of conversations that are being had?
All right, I think for the first time, the ad hoc committee that actually called industry players to chart a course forward on this industry, it was really a good one. Kudos to all of those that put it together. Right there, my friend Olu Kasamani and a couple of others, Senator Hehe and the rest, that actually came in to have a very solid discussion about all of these things. Fantastic. But I think where we are right now in this industry, we need to get a bill that actually concentrates on cryptocurrency transactions in this country. More like we had MiCA in Europe, where a certain amount of digital asset in terms of dollarized asset should be capped, so that we don't have Naira suffer for a couple of all of these things. We just need a bill that makes sure this industry is well regulated and is suitable for players, local players, as well as international players, while putting in consideration the Naira, which is our currency here. For crying out loud, nobody spends the Naira in the US or in the UK. So we need to have or prioritize stable coins per adventure if we want to do that, or have certain threshold for amount of dollarized stable coin that could be in circulation, so that could be tracked. So we need a law. There's no law in this country of parliament that actually, not just for recognition of crypto now, we have to talk about just crypto, laws that talked about that address cryptocurrencies, there's no law that addresses cryptocurrency in its purest form. We can go down the nitty-gritty of it. We don't have laws that actually address stable coins. We need to go down on all of that. We need to talk about all of these things. And who is going to do all of this is the players in this industry. Understand all of these things more than the regulators. So the collaboration between players and regulators needs to come in place so that that bill will be well robust and is being passed in the parliament so that we can have a way forward. A lot is happening, and it's looking like Africa is a bit taking the back seat. Nigeria is supposed to lead this, and we slowing down, it makes a whole lot of it brings a lot of concern. Ghana just did something which is very fantastic, and one of the important things that is done in their rules as cryptocurrency is concerned is that there's a national law on education for the blockchain and cryptocurrency ecosystem. So it makes a lot of sense, which means the industry itself, the do's and don'ts, a couple of things, the basic fundamental education is going to be taught in schools. These are the things that we are talking about year in, year out on this platform. We should do this in Nigeria too, so that the younger folks can be in line for us to have a very solid ecosystem and innovation can thrive. It's not like we'll always take the back seat when countries like Singapore, the UAE, and the US are running faster. We're not saying it's a cash-up game, but we have our uniqueness, and if we follow this trend from a long time, we would have been ahead some of these countries.
Right. All right, thank you so much, Rome. So much, good news coming out of Ghana. At this point with the inflation rate, dropping from crazy highs, and now they've cut interest rates big, and you're talking about education in the schools there for blockchain technology. Great stuff. Thank you so much, Rome, and thank you for joining us on short notice. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Larry. It's always a pleasure.
All right, that's the show today. These are the top stories and major markets making moves. You can watch this again on our YouTube channel, and definitely we'll keep you updated for the TGIF trade. That's tomorrow. I'm Ladi Williams from me and the team right here at Channels HQ. It's bye for now.